talk about a skill that goes in the category of skills that are really hard to develop and yet can still be learned over time, even by beginners. I want to talk about how to write pseudocode. Pseudocode, this just means an outline of your program in English. Does not have to be complete sentences. But the goal of this video right now is to look at how do you break up an idea into tinier parts so that those parts can then be written in Python. So let's suppose I want to write an adventure game. So this program, don't worry, I'll make this a comment. This program will be an adventure game. It's going to be text-based. I'm going to make this a doc string. So it's going to be a text-based adventure game. And I wanted to show you how could you build this up in parts so that as you go along, you can then program it. In this video, we're only going to write pseudocode. In fact, we're going to start with just the very basic premise. So the first task, maybe I should just type this so that the colors are brighter. Okay, so first, give some sort of message to the user. Welcome the user to the game. And even if you think this sounds obvious so far, hang in here because we may do some complicated stuff. Or you may think of something while I'm talking that gives you an idea of how you would extend your game. So we're going to give them some sort of welcome message. And if you wanted to be sophisticated, optional, let the user choose a level, like some sort of difficulty setting, or it could even just be they have to choose the location that they want to be having their adventure in. Okay, so that would be optional. But once they're in the game, I want to give just the smallest. This is really our job as programmers, as software engineers, in fact, even as other types of engineers. Our job is to take something really interesting, such as put a robotic, autonomously controlled or self-controlled Mars rover on the planet Mars. That's a larger problem than we have time to solve in this video, for example. But aerospace engineers and electrical engineers and mechanical engineers sit around and talk about how to do this, and they do it by breaking things down into smaller parts first. How long is it going to be on Mars? How will it get there? What resources do we have? Okay, like I said, beyond the scope of the video. So I want to think about the smallest component of this program that we could write in pseudocode right now. And I'm going to give you that in just about a minute or two here. And then I want to send you off. I want you to finish writing this pseudocode. Sure, if you think you know how to make it in Python, go right ahead. Don't let me stop you. But it's a very important exercise. I'll get down off of my soapbox momentarily. It's a very important exercise to be able to write outlines of your code and then fill them in. So the basic functionality is we're going to present a choice. Present the user with a choice. I know I'm in Python, so it's syntax highlighting, sorry. Present the user with a choice. Ingest the user's input. And I'll say, I think it's a string. Sorry, we'll do all this in a doc string. Ingest the user's input, and then optional. Optional is going to be check validity of input. Did they type what you told them they could type or not? Don't worry about the syntax highlighting. I just want this to be easy to read for you. So we're going to give them a choice. We're going to get their input. Maybe we're going to check whether it's valid. And then we're going to tell them the result. So tell the user the result. And then optional might be, maybe we will somehow keep track of some sort of thing like life points or something like that. So I've given you a very high level outline. I want to let you take it from here. And I want to encourage you to program this in very tiny bite-sized chunks. Do not write all this code at once. You would be surprised, but many students they'll just start writing all the code at once. It can be very hard to find bugs because you now have like 20 or 30 or 40 lines of code. Write this in very tiny pieces, run it frequently, and don't worry about, sure, maybe we eventually want this to be in some sort of loop. So I'll say optional, put all this in a loop. But these are kind of the optional things. Really, if you can get this chunk of things working from lines 10 to 14, and even if you can't get it working, but you could write some more specific pseudocode, that would be a great goal for today. So give that a shot, and we'll come back next week with a possible solution or some more detailed code. Don't forget to subscribe.